And it is this type of thinking that is also carried over into social media, where black people display the worst acts of self-hate and self-degeneration upon each other. And you wonder why nobody respects you. Slavery is reemerging right before your very eyes, and many of you still believe in the same system that is crippling you versus believing in your own thinking. Being poor is meaning being a criminal. And they place all poor people in chains today. Convict them of a crime. It can be a petty crime. And now he's labeled a criminal. But the flip side of that is there would be no criminals if we didn't live in a criminalistic society. I'm just saying. You think about that. And speaking of poor people and criminals and savagery, the greatest invention that the white man has ever made was the making of a nigger. That was his greatest invention. Because when you destroy the mind of an adult, it is almost impossible to restore it. Money, cars, tricking off, smoke some weed, go to jail, kill somebody. That is basically the order of the day for many young black men across America. No jobs, no hospitals, no businesses, no banks, nothing that is worth 0.5% of 1% of anything that is encouraging your mind. And then they go and legalize weed. I can remember decades prior to this, you had black people who were pretty successful and were actually flourishing. When I was coming up, especially in the 80s and in the 70s, you had black people that was brick masons. You had black people that were mechanics. You had black people that worked in the steel mills. You have black people that worked in welding and worked in car manufacturing companies. That's right. But when they removed the vocational programs from high school and removed all of those jobs from the black communities or out of reach from black people, it actually crippled the black community, neighborhoods, and sadly, we have not recovered from that till this very day. Seriously, you think about that. And with the influx of crack in the 80s and the 90s and the re-emerging of heroin, it's been a crazy world for black people in America. Speaking of crack, they will lock up a young black man for selling crack. Yet, when that child goes to school and the teacher is having problems with the child, and the teacher recommends that the child be seen and be placed upon medication, which is Ritalin or Adderall, they are actually prescribing crack, liquid crack, or crack in a pill for your child. And you don't see anything wrong with that. In fact, most or many, I would say many, I guarantee you, many parents have not even looked at the side effects of the medication that they give their children, let alone find out what it is that they're putting in their bodies with the vaccination. But the liquid crack thing, I mean the Adderall and the Ritalin thing, yeah, side effects, being disillusional, suicidal, can't think straight, stunts the growth and the development of your child, kills your child's brain cells. To me, it sounds like an academic holocaust. And you continue to seem not to be concerned with it. And if you continue to not be concerned with it, our children or your child will end up being 5 times worse off than you or we are, because they will not be able to think, let alone think sideways or straight. You think about that. This is real talk. This is a state of an emergency for black people. And no, this emergency just wasn't created last night. It was created back in 1619, okay? Let's go back to the 6th century. They encourage you to put your children, our children, on medications and say that their hyperactivity and all of this, not being able to focus, is the problem of why they can't learn. And I really never really understood why parents encourage their children to go to college when they know that there's no job. So it's safe to say you're pretty much telling your child to go ahead and apply for and get an economic prison sentence. Because that's what it really is. You think about it. And being in this economic prison sentence, black people or that individual cannot excel, especially when they continue to subscribe to the very same system that has placed them in the condition. And if you are a black man in America and you got a white Jesus on your wall, I highly encourage you to take it down and have some respect for yourself. Because when you accept your oppressor's religion, you accept colonization. This is what's taking place over in Africa right now with the Chinese. That's another subject, though. Yes, I'm serious. Black folk DNA can be traced back. The black man and the black woman DNA can be traced back to the creator of it all. Yet, other people can be traced back to black folk. You think about that. So, black folk, you don't need a worthless religion and a worthless God that you seek to get you out of the condition, because it is obvious once again that your God, Allah, Jehovah, Jesus, Muhammad, Moses, none of them has power over this devil. If you think I'm lying, ask your God, whatever religion you believe in, to save black people from the evil hand and schemes of white folks who run America. That's what you go do. How long have you been waiting this to happen? I'm just saying. You have been misinformed about your religion and your God, which helps perpetuate the created environment. This has been taking place since Arabs have enslaved black people in the 7th century. Yet you accept his religion and you call him brother. How low can you go? How low can you go? Does that sound like a conscious person? And then they further disenfranchise your thinking with Christianity in the 17th century, up until this very day. And if you must remember, or if you study, heaven was taken by force. So how do you expect to get it back? You got black people walking around here with brain damage, walking around here with the white Jesus in their subconscious as their savior. What kind of chronic are you smoking? obviously the Great Value brand, okay? Unbelievable. Black people, Pharaoh has let you go. But the problem is, black people won't let Pharaoh go. And as long as you continue to hold on to Pharaoh, your destiny will be death, prison, and failure. Death, prison, and failure will be the result of black people, not only here in America, but worldwide. And for those of you who can rise above the ashes to get on that frequency and stay on that frequency, promote that frequency. And believe it or not, it's really not that hard to do once you get on track. And continue to surround yourself with people of like mind. And in the process of your learning, don't let your ego get involved as you continue to grow. Because you will grow and you will get stroked. But stay focused and always know that someone knows a little bit more than you. That's just from experience. There's always someone that knows more than you do. And by all means, if a person knows more than you do, don't hate on them. Find out how they know what they know. It makes sense, right? If there's anything that I have said that you like, by all means, press the subscribe button. This is a great informative show for all of those who are looking to uplift themselves and those that are around them and who are looking for valuable information for the betterment of black people worldwide.